Okay, so starting
And I
straight
still
in
believe those
because
will not be monetized.
yeah, well, that's currently not a goal. So we have a little bit of a cliffhanger last time, so we're gonna drop right in because this might be a technically difficult session. So those of you who have spoken and talked to me and planned during the week, you know who you are and how we can fix this. So yeah, the party was rescued by Oberek Siltfallen after, well, things started to escalate after a botched attempt at fleeing from the heightened security, which, again, not an adversarial DM. I think I mentioned at least 4 times that there was heightened security and things would be ramping up if things went bad. And of course, being called out by the king, even though he might not be the king, does have that effect. So the party, instead of slipping away peacefully into the night, instead engaged in combat and actually did quite well because I did not intend it for you guys to stay up that long, but hey. Shitty freaking stone golems. But yeah, so with that though, a surprise wall of force by a certain individual high-ranking mage in the city. And there you were split. But a clutch banishment from Oberek, and then of course a teleportation spell whisked you away, but perhaps not to safe harbor. There was a moment where you all had to decide whether to take this proposition, as you do not know the true motives of this mage village. So, you, at least those taking the deal, have appeared in a strange circular room that is large enough to house some ancient-looking trees, but there is still a ceiling. There are white marble walls all around you, and beneath you is grass, but you are most definitely indoors. You see in the distance a desk and a few other strange devices. It looks like somebody made a living room here indoors inside a forest with grass. It all looks incredibly artificial, as you soon realize that all the trees have been split evenly, like pillars holding up the very ceiling. There, Oberek stands in front of you with a bead of sweat pouring down his temple, and Undra standing next to him. She looking round and looking at you. Oh, safe harbor. That was not the kind of mission I signed up for. So, well, looks like everyone made it.
What do I see around me?
Well, you see Cassius, you see Nolan, you see Dario, and you see Gordon, because everybody took the fucking deal.
You all chickened out, motherfuckers.
Ooh.
Close. I don't like the way he keeps saying deal instead of you took
Yeah, it's
the
a
out.
deal.
Like
It's a deal.
we forced some kind of We're on the
Yeah.
clock or something
Or
now.
I,
trade
wa-
guild.
I wanted to bump it up a little bit, but all of you decided to actually travel. And yes, Gord is sick today, so he is an NPC. But he still looks like Black Linus. And for the fun of it, I have no instruction to change that. So I am
Black
going
Linus one
to
of the one who is
sidestep that.
wanted here?
Yes.
Right, along with Dario and the previous party member, correct?
Yes.
That's good to know.
So, as you look round, beneath you, burned into the grass, is a teleportation circle that is now slowly fading and having burned the grass somewhat.
Try to memorize it. Did I have the time to memorize it?
Okay. You do have keen mind, right?
Yes.
You do. So as it is fading, it is covered in grass, but you feel that there's some, like the grass of Dario, you immediately, this is not natural soil. This feels like somebody put a grass mat on a solid floor, right? Okay. I will allow you either perception with advantage. No, perception. Just perception, I think, because you don't have time to actually study it, but you could burn it into your mind's eye if it's high enough. 11. You recognize patterns, and you quickly realize that, I mean, you probably have seen 1,000 teleportation circles to Ilish. What you immediately notice is that this is much more complicated. There are, as it starts to fade, you try to trace it in your mind, and you realize, like, oh, this is not normal. There's additional things going on with this teleportation circle that you're not used to. Now then, Undra. And she immediately, like, takes a step back. Don't worry, just fetch Gale for me, will you? We have visitors, of course, guests. And yes, well, let Master Moore also know we probably have some interesting conversation to be had. Yeah. So, please, my friends, we have a little bit to unpack, but please take a rest. And you see now that living room there, there appear to form a few more chairs and a sofa that sort of appear out of nowhere. Please, so welcome to, well, the Tower of Asir. But don't worry, the lower parts. This is one of the levels given to my master, Stephen Moore, who I'm the apprentice, and we are at the entry hall, let's say. You will notice some druidic elements, but all of that will be explained in time. I will have to leave you for a moment to do the necessary cleaning up for your arrival here. So, please.
By the way, small interjection. Did we ever discuss the fact that 2 of our party are wanted criminals in Ilish? So Boris doesn't know and isn't looking at science. Okay.
No, we discussed briefly something happened. I don't think you know the details.
No, but did we not discuss the fact that that guy would be able to recognize two party members in
during our
at the party? Because I learned that he was in the city and sniffing around. Did it not come up at that point? Like, oh shit, that guy might recognize us, so we should steer clear of him?
Did we tell them we have a bounty of 1,000 gold on our heads?
No, you didn't.
No, we didn't specify the bounty.
Okay.
They know we did something to English officials. That they know.
Yeah, I can't remember, so
I just need to know whether or not you guys are wanted here. I don't care about the specifics of how much money I could sell you out for. Just need to know.
Even if it's 5 gold, you're going down. You know, it's
That's not why I'm asking. I'm not in. I just need to know.
I mean, what you know, you've been told during the campaign. So
yeah.
So I know
So Boris doesn't know.
you've gotten in trouble here,
No, I don't think so.
not
which is
here.
fun because here I'm not the wanted person, but you are.
yeah. Well, the event happened in Oratal. That's why we don't go to Oratal.
Yes,
Uh,
I did notice that on the map.
Yes.
It's quite big
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
There's the reason everybody's wearing an anti-scrying.
They got rid of it long ago. I think I'm the only one wearing it.
Alright. So I'm gonna grab all y'all's and I'm going to put you where you belong in the slammer.
Oh
There you
my
go.
God, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're gonna die.
That is the furthest city that's on the map.
Well, yeah, there's a couple more.
Honestly.
The big capital city. So you are left to this place. Undra and Oberek leave, and you are completely alone in. I think this place is like maybe 300 feet in radius. This is a large room. About yeah, high enough for tall trees. So the ceiling is quite high as well. So this is a large place, but weird. The furniture that is set out for you to rest on. There's a desk there, there's chairs, there's a couple of bookcases, right standing in the middle of the grass.
Ooh.
Well, that could have gone better.
Well, yes. indeed.
Well, Cassius, now you know firsthand. Well, how tight security in Oloso really is. I really thought we would have had some kind of margin, but it's really
They are
they know what they're
very
doing.
well trained.
Yes.
If it's any consolation, this is going to be, unless the town explodes in the near future, which may or may not happen, but it will probably be quite a legendary tale because I don't think anyone's ever. Actually, I'm sure nobody else has ever pushed it this far or this close before.
Do we
You'll
have
be-
a view on the city, by the way?
You'll maybe
There are
you'll
no
be
windows.
a hero when we get back.
I doubt it.
I must say though, and I don't want to insult you, but I am happy just for a moment, even though I know that we're not here for free, to be out of the shithole we call Oloso. I really have.
I
I
share
saw
your
that-
feelings.
I saw the teleportation circle, and I don't know, this feeling overcame me. We've been stuck in that town for so long. I hate cities, and especially Oloso. And I just went for it. I just thought, damn it, I want to get out of here.
Well,
And
we're
it's
pretty
hard
close
for
to
me
Nomadar.
because I had to leave this backstone behind once more. And it really pains me.
Well,
I don't think there were many options.
I mean, would you prefer a city or your lovely, lovely home, the Nomadar Marshes?
My have you been to the marshes?
No,
You speak
That's
of
why.
lovely. I mean, yes, we have a lovely home, but the marshes aren't known for their, scenery.
I look to Cassius. That's why I asked the question.
Boris has a look
Oh,
around.
was
Is
it
there
humor?
anything that
No,
stands out or magical that's checking on us?
You may roll investigation or arcana.
Boot are suck. Now I'm gonna roll 20s.
That's a 16. You look round. The furniture here is beautifully made, well carved, very intricate and baroque in design, but looks to be fairly mundane. There's pen and paper, and actually, Nolan, you'll passively immediately see that this is indeed high quality paper. This is Magecraft paper. And the inks as well are, well, of the finer quality and would be useful for writing arcane things. Looking
All set to
around.
work.
All right. You sit down immediately. Looking around, though, this is a strange place. The trees look overly perfect, and you realize that they might actually all be identical. Not just simply the same species, but every single tree here has the same branches, the same fractal design, and even the same leaves. And to your horror, Dario, because I'll give you this one for free, a leaf falls, and all of them fall at the same time, the same place, the same leaf at the same location on each tree.
Do I know of this magic? Well, or can I see? It's definitely not natural.
It is definitely not natural. You can roll Arcana if you want. But Boris, looking further, you have no idea. This is you like are relieved to be on grass among trees, and that immediately like no, there's something wrong here. This is not right.
This place reminds me of the Halloween Autumn residence of the Pure Gardens, but just way more fabricated. So
Yeah. And Boris, you also see certain gems embedded on the roof. But you're not quite sure. Some of them give light. Others seem to glisten. You're not sure of what their design might be.
I'm going.
How is everybody looking, by the way?
I'm good. I'm going to take a knife, and on the back of one of the trees, I'm gonna add a little scratch, and I'm gonna see if the other trees have the scratch as well.
Okay.
As a druid, I'm curious how it works.
Are you vandalizing this man's home?
This is not a tree. This is not nature you're seeing.
And they all die.
It's an abomination of
Uh,
mankind.
I'm gonna
All
put
right.
myself roughly in the center and make sure that everybody's within 30 feet of me. And I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes praying for healing.
Cassius was here.
All right.
To answer your question, Cassius looks a bit tired, but he's like completely unscathed.
Yeah, the bastard. So you start carving in these trees, and they behave like normal trees. You carve a little bit, but you look at the other trees for a moment, because again, they are equally spaced, about 30 feet away from each other, maybe a bit more. You don't see any carvings on the other trees. And as you return to your tree, the carving is gone.
Ah,
All three.
horrendous. Horrendous.
I will take my lantern of revealing and I will light it. Let's get some light in here.
Can I
Okay.
cast my
Does
spell,
seem-
or do I need to wait?
Well, 10 minutes for you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lantern gets lighted first. Gets lit first, wow.
Yes.
And the light spreads. And near the desk, so are you still at the desk?
Yes.
Okay. Right next to you, standing perfectly still, are a number of ghost-like beings that are standing there at idle.
No. Try and touch them.
Your hand goes through them, and they seem to react and look at you for a moment, and then step back a step.
Well, hello.
They remain silent.
I will go to the bookcase and I'll say, if I know Obrek like he used to be, there should be quite a few books that are long overdue to be returned to the library. Let me see. I'll go through them and I'll take
All right.
Here is one.
And yeah, no investigation roll required. You find quite a few from several libraries in the city.
I will gather them. I will return them.
Okay, there's like a good 10 of them that you're holding, right? It's just set them all on the desk.
These are years overdue.
What's his fancy, Nolan? Just to get some insight on the man.
I'm not going to tell you what he was reading when he was a teenager, but I think now it's mostly the arcane.
Yes, the arcane. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of study on evocation, the school of evocation. There are some beginners books on enchanting, but doesn't look like they've been read much. And also one or two more recent books on Dun Mildred.
Ooh.
Moderate.
Nolan, should you be touching all those books? I mean, the man just rescued us from Oloso, and now we're like 1 minute in this place, and we are ransacking it completely.
Basic courtesy says you have returned books to the library. I will do so. He will understand.
Okay.
I have reprimanded him many times, years ago. So.
Oh, okay.
It might even have been for one of these books.
I mean, doesn't library at one point, I don't know, do something about it?
The administration works
So you can just, I
mysterious
mean,
ways.
I haven't really been to libraries, but you can just borrow a
You
book
haven't?
and never return it, and there's no consequence whatsoever. I mean, then the whole point of lending and borrowing is quite moot.
No,
isn't it?
you will get minus points.
What?
Oh, yes.
And the library enforcers come.
I don't get it. Alright, never mind.
You go into the book of bad people.
Yes. And if you're
No.
very, very bad, you will get barred from entering the library. The one library I can't bar access for the other libraries.
Have you been
Or
barred?
have someone else go in the library for you. That's also a possibility.
Have you ever returned books too late? No.
Well, no, of course not. But that's
Not even
a
once?
stupid question.
I don't know.
No, I worked at the library. I would
Fair-
read them there.
Fair point.
I basically lived at the library at a certain point.
Yes, I heard.
So we've had. Do we also see the ghostly figures that Nolan sees, or is it
Yeah.
just him who sees?
Everyone's
It's the lantern, yeah.
The lantern reveals a hidden, invisible thing. Does it look like they are? Is someone perceiving us? Are they registering information? And
No, they're just standing there waiting. Idle.
I'm assuming those are
Perhaps.
benevolent, not evil or bad, considering you just kind of ignore them.
yeah, you can go through them. Yeah.
They move away a little bit as he does that.
See, I think if they were bad, we would probably all be dead right now.
Alright, so it's all fun and all, but what should we tell persons when we will be having a conversation soon? What are we going to tell them? Just everything? I
don't
guess.
know.
But that's what
Can
we
I do a
always do
perception
eventually.
check to see if somebody
not
is
true, Nolan.
spying on us and trying to listen into our conversation,
Sure, make a perception roll.
knowing full well that I am incapable of seeing invisible.
No, you are seeing some invisible things now.
Well,
so.
some of them, yeah. But like, This is I can see
There's
a guy hiding
thousands!
behind a pillar, but like that is
Yeah.
that is it.
There's thousands of them.
It's an illusion. You're in a prison.
Aren't we all in a prison of our own mind?
So right now, currently, no, you don't see anyone.
I mean, the man rescued us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
Gord, we struck a deal. And
Yes, but
Gord
why
kind of
did he
struck a
rescue
deal.
us?
Who?
So
Did we take it? Did we make a deal?
Gord, yeah, Brendan
What?
Puppy.
Oh, I thought the
I-
man was just
I-
courteous and getting us out of the pickle.
I assume we know the deal Gord struck during the flashback because we were there in the same room. You know?
Uh,
I'd
Well,
have
I
to
know.
assume we were there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think I just saw a
You were
teleportation circle going up suddenly, and I had to run back.
the thing is, I mean, you should know politicians like him better than I do, I guess. Or
The
should know
politician.
Elish better. They don't do anything for free.
I mean, yeah,
no-
the
nobody
man
does it for
helped
free.
us escape from
Of course.
the most elite guard force in that city after we killed several of them. He's
But
incurred
He didn't want
quite a
me.
steep cost to his reputation alone for
He
that.
just didn't want me, Nolan Tusk,
There will be a trade-off.
to die in a
He's not gonna
sewer.
do that for
Nolan,
free.
the man doesn't even return books to the library. He's not that honest.
Well,
That is
if you
a
don't...
very good point.
I can't disagree.
If he doesn't return books to the library, he definitely did not just do all of that.
You have
For
to
He should
speak.
die. He should die.
Roll
Now,
initiative.
So, I mean, you all know me. I'm not good at lying, and at this point, I think we're so desperate we might just well tell everything and see what kind of gains also Yiddish Republic can see, because they were trying to gain influence in also in the region, right? So we should
That was why he was there, or
maybe you can
why he told us he was there.
use your connections with the thieving guilds in also.
Yeah, see, the problem is the thieving guild in Olosso is over in Olosso, and we are very
Really?
far away
Yes, that's
from
true.
Olosso right now.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
They were
Well,
in also for a reason. So
Yes, that is true.
I don't know. When we're here now, we might be able to
We might have to make the
use
best
this
of
for
it.
in our
At the
advan-
very
advan-
least, we need someone to find us, and I know you're not gonna like this, but we need to find someone who can get us back to Olosso as fast as we
Yes,
can.
I'm still placing that
if
far
only
out
had
of my mind.
If only we had someone that could teleport. Well, do we have someone?
I just raised my eyebrow at Nolan.
I can't. I don't know any teleportation circles.
I gesture
So,
around.
I have an
the
idea.
city.
We could teleport to Greven, which is closer to Alasso, and then walk.
I mean, Elite Republic, they teleported us out of Olosso. They can teleport us back into Olosso. It's what they told us.
Well, that's basically
Is
if he
it
wants to go back to
something?
Alasso.
He doesn't have to go with us.
You don't know how teleportation works.
I'm a druid. I walk. I use animals. And
When the
trees to
wizard makes a
teleport.
circle, you step in it, and that's how teleportation happens.
Well,
Mm.
we usually use
mean-
trees for that.
Can I just point out we're in a magocracy? I mean, there must be somebody who will take something shiny and round in multiple units to actually get us back to Olosso. Not the biggest issue, guys.
Are you
What I-
talking about? Oh, you're talking about money.
What? Oh, coins.
Shiny it around.
Yes, fair
That-
point.
Took me a while to.
Yes, indeed.
Seriously?
You're
It's a very weird way to
Shiny
describe
and
money.
round. What does it mean?
See,
What does it mean?
Dario, you're very bad at getting jokes. I mean, that was a joke, Boris. Well done.
It's like they're talking about some kind of
I'm
super
bad at
secret
jokes.
currency that exists in
I'm-
this world, with shiny and brown.
We have been through the
Brown?
most horrors of this world, and We barely have had time joking.
Yes, that's a nice excuse.
I assume my spell has popped off in the meantime.
Yes, 10 minutes have definitely passed.
Yeah, fun goes quick. Time passes quick when you're having fun.
So yeah, I will say for this, you also all get a short rest on top of that.
I don't need that. Huh.
Do I get anything back on the short rest?
I'll just take it.
You all get 21 health, by the way.
I'm
That's way
full
too
health
much.
because I healed so much last battle.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll apply healing for Goran. I think he likes to do a short rest at least. I'll do it for him.
I have
Just
Boris
press
21 healing. doesn't
short
matter.
rest and
I'm
then
maxed out.
that does it for me, right? Take a short rest and then rest.
Yep.
I'm running out of resources here, guys. We do need to be careful.
Yes.
We do not engage again because I cannot
Oh,
support you fully.
Don't
I have
intend to start any.
Plenty. Maybe I should have used more in the last battle.
You think?
Well, there was a physical wall. I was trying to get help, and then there was a wall in front of me.
Well, I do
So-
remind you, Boris, that you were quite stationary as well.
I'm just this.
It was a joke, so now the jokes don't work. Ah, you are a hard crowd. I'm just gonna sit on a bench and wait until people come inside.
Alright.
Wait, you can try if a door is unlocked. I mean, go outside.
Did
I
I
really
notice
have no-
anything dampening when I cast my spell, by the way?
Not really. It went off. So, there is a double door at the outer side of this room here. No windows though, so you can't really see. Yeah, so if you guys wait, you complete your long rest, your short rest even. An hour, more than an hour passes, about an hour and a half passes as you are being left alone here. When the doors do open, and immediately as they do, you hear many voices and a cacophony of people running around, and not in panic or anything, but the fall of boots on stone floor. And as the doors open, you see 4 people. You see Undra and Oberek. Undra hanging a little back, Oberek in the midst of talking to this person. Somewhat middle-aged gentleman, blonde hair, lithe blonde hair, and you see like a shimmer of blue eyes, but there's bags under his eyes and he looks rather tired. He walks in with papers in his hand, flipping through a book, then putting it inside a bag of holding, taking out another one and flipping through as he's walking with his face in these books, not even looking at you. Then beside Undra, you see a male elf, green attire, not dissimilar to Dario's normal getup, but it looks a bit strange. It has pieces of wood as supports on it. More of a well, Dario, to you, more of a Feywild air to it, and I would say, well, yes, a bit. The elven features are a bit sharper than you might suspect. They walk in stone-faced, unmoved, but walking lockstep with the blonde man. Oberek is in the midst of, well, and then you see these are the people presented, but you can understand the circumstances. So, I mean, there wasn't really much I could do to save the diplomatic mission. It was quite an impossible mission. You must agree, and sir, please, I beg you, please. And at that point, he stops, as there before you stands most likely Stephen Moore, apprentice to Tano Asir, and looks up from his book briefly, closes it, puts it again away in his bag, and then grabs one of the papers that Oberek was holding and goes over it. Okay. And I want to know, Nolan, are you still sitting at the desk?
Yes. I sat back at the desk.
He walks over to the desk. Looks at the paper again. Do you mind?
Mind what?
He
My
flicks
paper?
his hands and the chair moves away from the desk.
Oh, okay, of course. Here's your chair.
Thank you. Walks up, dusts off the seat. Actually, prestidigitations it. Yeah.
Old man's mouth.
He starts sitting down as the chair moves under him. Puts the paper there, produces yet another book, and opens it, looks at the ink in the paper. Looks over at you, Nolan.
Yes, I was working on that. If I could have that, please.
And then gives you the paper mage. No, actually, one of the, because the lantern's still up, so one of the invisible figures moves, grabs the paper, and then gives it to you less than 5 feet away.
Well, thank you.
I assume we saw the invisible figure move the chair underneath his butt.
No,
Okay.
that he did himself. Okay. I am pressed for time. My name is Stephen Moore. I am apprentice to Tano Asir. My time is very short, and I have a lot to deal with following what transpired today involving my apprentice. So-
he's the apprentice of the apprentice?
So, as I understand it, there is now a diplomatic issue in the city of Oloso, but not only that, there has been mention of an artifact that should not be in anyone's hands, regardless of a would-be traitor to this plucky little adventuring group from Greven. And of course, there is also mention of some form of infiltration by fiends involving the King of Alonso, who, well, I wasn't really familiar with. Then, of course, there are the two of you who will be placed under arrest if you do not adhere to certain, well, requirements, or, well, that is still to be decided after this discussion. Of course, yes, we recognized you, we traced your name. Also, the unnerving fact that one of you is still shape-shifted into your target, I suppose. Right.
Alright.
Now, of course, with the involvement of my dear apprentice, This is now a matter for the English Republic. And the things you have mentioned are the things you are involved in. Are of interest. So this is how this is going to go. You will cede any information you have on the quest you have. I do not care for inter-party squabbles or whatever that led to this situation. I simply need to know facts. There have been big problems surrounding such artifacts, which belong in legend and not gallivanting about the continent. I'm sure you are well versed in that. So, I need brief, clear, and concise descriptions of what you are dealing with and what you intend to do, what your mission is, what your quest is, if you will, and what involves the authorities of Greven, which is a city that has been under some scrutiny of the English Republic so far, following, of course, the incident that formed the wound dealings with Edgewise and the Council of Severness. Who will speak for you?
Oh boy.
He said concise, so it's not Nolan.
What? But can't you just read someone's mind?
I mean, his questions were very layered. I can try to give you a summary.
I do not need to know an explanation for why you are wearing that getup.
No, that's for later.
That is actually very funny stuff.
One is we are working for the Greven Legion, but the Greven
Yes.
Legion, as a fact, hasn't really much to do with our personal endeavors in the north.
What?
I mean, they know what we are doing, but let's say that we have been given some sort of a free check to, well, do our
I do
own
not
quest.
care about the organization of the Greven Legion. I need to know the facts of what is happening. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. We are chasing our party member who is wearing or has equipped a pact stone in with which he's been doing a lot of evil stuff. He's apparently trying to, what was he trying to build, Nolan? I keep forgetting.
Arcane Gate,
Arcane Gate.
more
I
or
don't
less.
know. Yes, I don't really know what for yet. He has not been clear on that subject. Um, and then by chasing, of course, the guy has a pact stone, and we are not the only persons going for the pact stone. There is a necromancer going for the pact stone who has been
Necromancer has a pact stone.
yes, but um, a smaller one. He's been chasing after us. He's been chasing after the pact stone, and then there is the matter of a certain geomancer, Rashanidre Atum, who is also going for pact stones and such. So that's why we went north, because they're all going north.
And how did you acquire this item of myth?
We don't have it.
Well, no.
We acquired
But your ex-party member acquired a pact stone. Was
Oh,
this
yes.
after?
No.
Zafanaderland?
Oh, no. It was. We stumbled
What
upon
island?
his imprisonment, and he was. Rashanidre was. Well, freed by his
The sewers.
artificially magically made daughter.
Yes,
And
we found the
that's where
sewers.
we found the
The sewers
pact stone.
between yes,
The
beneath
sewers of
Orantal,
Orenthal. Yep.
Yes.
in the Elise Republic. That's where it was. An ancient prison from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, hidden in the subterranean prisons of Oradal.
And this is why you killed these representatives of the Republic, to keep this from
No.
coming.
Absolutely not. That was a misunderstanding. Well, let's say it was mostly the fault of Blacklands, who instigated.
Oh,
No.
it was Dorby.
Why
Ah,
are you? Why are
wasn't
you
there,
saying no? What the
Yeah,
Well,
fuck?
I'm out
that's
of
not what I've
character.
been told.
Cassius speaks up and goes, Dario, I feel like this is a time where I tell you that you have the right to remain silent.
It was just a misunderstanding. That's all. It really didn't have anything to do with what we're chasing. I mean,
A simple misunderstanding. Right,
Yeah.
so we have. Can I
That's where you
perhaps?
found the Black Zone.
So the tomb of Russian Hydra was breached. Do we know anything about this? And he looks to Oberek and he's like, I just knew. No, sir, no. Very well. This is a problem. Now, of course, if our representatives hadn't been murdered, perhaps they could have found out this information. Right. So, you have encountered. Have you encountered? Because you said his artificial daughter. What? In the Seven Hells. Right. This is what's going to happen. For I don't quite have time. You're all going to make written statements. Don't worry, out of character, you don't have to actually write them.
Oh. Can I?
You can if you want to.
Don't say anything without a lawyer.
Yeah. I need written statements from all of you individually. The two of you, you are still considered to be under arrest. You will not leave this tower. Considering the circumstance and the involvement of this, we will have to go over what exactly transpired there in Oratal. But consider yourselves indentured to the Elish Republic.
I do have to. These two men are far too important in the grand scheme of things to be arrested.
I disagree.
Don't worry, Nolan will manage.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
sadly, this is going to have to go up the chain, as this is new information to a lot of us, and exactly what needs to be done, and the threat it posed to Alosso. As far as we understand it, there was a abhorrent amount of magic used to wipe out an army, and there was an engagement with demons and an undead horde.
Yes, that was Blacklands.
Right. There was mention of a necromancer. I'm assuming does not mean your former party member.
No, it's Kirkserin.
Good. Good. Kid fucking Serin, really.
Haven't you heard? He's been like. That's why it started with whole Revan. There were lots of undead we had to investigate, and then we stumbled upon Kirkserin and Elder Gods, and then we had to go north, and there was Rashanir. It's a lot.
You had like Omatil and what's the other one?
Well, and that's why I am going to leave, and you're all going to write that shit down. And I have a meeting to attend to. Albrecht, you stay here and make sure everything is done right.
But doesn't his master know these people? I've heard his master is eons old.
There, Stephen Moore stops for a moment and turns. My dear sir, Nolan, was it?
Yes.
You have to understand. Of course, my master is aware of these figures. But there are many things happening in this world that do not simply concern just Netara. There are things occurring all over this world. There's also, of course, things of a political nature. The involvement of the Quada Domin and all those kind of things.
Yes.
So, you, I do believe, is a person of some intelligence. We don't enjoy such names and words and artifacts to be spoken about by the general public. To have a ragtag band of whatever you are gallivant around with the authority of the Greven Legion, whatever that might mean, and instigating these things. You just admitted that a person you are involved with, or were involved with, carries with it a legendary artifact that has only been used on this realm a few times, and each time such a thing has occurred, horrendous things have happened. The sundering of fucking Greven, even, you should know. So, you are implicated. Whatever happened in this little drama session here affected the world and perhaps realms beyond. Past your imagination. You mentioned elder gods just briefly off the breath of your speech there.
Well, we had to be short.
Albrecht, see that their written statements are also quite good. Thank you very much. And of course, you will be given accommodation here in the tower, except for the two of you. You will be staying, don't worry. Our brig is quite comfortable as well. We are not barbarians here. Unlike a former party member of yours.
Does imprisonment mean I get out of this clothes? That would be mighty fine.
I don't know. Would you consider it a punishment to keep wearing them?
No.
The answer is always bad.
Well, then it's no problem that you keep wearing them.
Exactly.
You can't win.
No.
Out of character, do you think he'd be mad if I told him about the god-slaying sword I have in my bag of holding?
I did not mention that, and it was for a reason.
Yeah, same.
You did mention an island, but it didn't go further than that.
No.
And with that, Stephen Moore leaves, the doors slam shut, and three figures remain. The male elf, Undra, and Oberek. And Oberek is sort of frozen
Yeah.
in a half smile.
Oberek, I don't like that man.
You have
Oh, you're all still alive and on this plane, are you not?
Yes, but we have been going through hell, sheer hell, and how he's just saying we are implied. We have been trying all our best to destroy the stone, to destroy Blackeners. And
Of
now we
course,
are
in the best
angry.
intentions. The best intentions. But you see, you mentioned hell. The fact that you are not currently plane shifted into the seven hells means it went well, everyone. Well done.
That is
Dario,
that is
you're
correct.
in Elish. Elish only cares for Elish, so don't take it personally.
I want to go back to Alosso. I didn't know. and that's
Well, honestly,
Okay.
I was doubting, and knowing we were going to Elish, I took the Elish option. Yes, otherwise I would have stayed in the sewers.
Just for clarification, the two people who are in trouble and being arrested are Dario and
Gord.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Can I take them apart and go like, okay, quickly, without earshots of the others, like how much do they got on you? Like, do they have proof you killed those people? How many people are we talking about, by the way? Because you mentioned some business earlier, and now apparently you've murdered officials. Like, is it
Didn't
a
kill
lot?
anyone. I tried to stop it, but Andromast was being an ass, and the Dragonborn was being an ass,
The,
and everything went to shit.
Okay, so
the
how many are we talking about?
The technicality, is it really murder if the person you murdered is being resurrected?
It was self-defense.
It's still murder, I think.
I
But-
don't know. I think it was 2 people.
Do they
I-
have
so-
proof? Yeah, because the
Of
victims
course,
are alive again.
I mean,
yes.
they were, yeah.
The
they-
murdered people are alive, so yes, they
And we ran out of the house, and the guards were all over the place. So
we were escorted.
it wasn't
Okay,
like
so yeah,
it
you're
wasn't
just-
how you would do it, if I may say.
No, it's like the first thing you learn in thief school is if there's no proof, there's no crime. Right?
But we weren't going for a crime. We were just being. Hey,
Nobody
hello,
ever goes for a
hello.
crime. It always
Lay
happens.
down your
accidentally.
weapons. No, I don't want to. Lay down your weapons. No, I don't want to. And then yeah,
because if you cast a certain spell about of a certain magical severity, they notice it apparently, and then you have to make a declaration, and you have to give all your magical stuff. They need to they register it, and they apparently Endermas didn't want them to touch his stuff.
yes,
So
he
what
didn't want
we're
to hand
what
over
we're
his
saying is they were performing an illegal search.
I
and
don't
you
know.
Well,
resisted?
Oratal is
'Cause
has
that's
ties
allowed.
with Ildish, so they had a certain amount of what's the English word?
Authority.
We
Authority
had
to do so.
there was a dumb barbarian with us. Dumb and all for all he had these positive things, but he didn't want to give up his weapons, and the Dragonborn on the
Okay,
other
yeah.
side shared the same brain cells. I think didn't want to win as well, and then we started fighting.
I understand, but you are guilty by association. You know that, right? I am, by the way, freeballing it with
I
Cass's
am not
surprising knowledge
guilty
of the
at
legal
all.
system.
You
I
probably would,
tried.
yeah.
I tried twice to interrupt the fighting. I even healed the guys we were slaying, but it didn't help. The Dragonborn was way too stubborn. So then
mean,
I
that could
changed
be-
to a bear and I started fighting.
Too stubborn at not wanting to die. That is not the best argument. But like you trying to de-escalate could be a mitigating circumstance. But then there's the
Yeah,
whole.
but after my de-escalation, I
freeing.
changed into a wild bear and started mauling. I don't know if it counts.
It's not good. It's not great.
But that's for later.
I feel like I'm gonna have to again recommend you just don't tell them any of the things you just said because it's not gonna
That's
make
why
it
I
better.
wanted to tell him that it's all Blackeness's fault because he was there as well, and he's the bad guy anyway. So why not
Oh.
make him even more bad?
I thought you were just misremembering things.
Yeah, well, I wasn't, but thank you. Makes me a great liar.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm going to write my story. So I'm going to sit at the desk, I'll take the expensive ink, I'll take the expensive paper, and I'll start writing a lot. A lot.
Is that not like an egregious waste of both ink and
Well,
paper to just use it
There
for
are no
regular writing?
justification. I'm taking liberty.
Yeah,
No,
as
can
you
you write-
actually, when you do that, Obrecht is like, no. Just going to, no, and just rip it out of your hands and just press the digitation, the paper, so it's like, okay, good, it didn't set yet. No, here, and he's going to provide from a satchel, he's like, there you are. So, for this, first of all, Gail, if you would please. Gail is going to present you to, Gord and Dario, a sort of a arm bracelet made of thorns. And Obrecht's going to very carefully take them, not to try. Right, so I don't know if you're aware. Well, actually, very interesting thing. As you might see, there is a little bit of a collaboration happening with the Tower of Asir and the Tangle to the south of Ilish, you know, the primeval forest. And of course, Gale here and Undra are assisting us. And here, so this is an interesting thing. We are combining Arcana with nature a little bit. So if you could please wear these, they will count as your manacles, and if they don't worry, they won't prick you as long as you are
Right.
exactly. So the moment you were to leave this place, or at least attempt to flee in some capacity, be it by extraplanar means or anything like that, then of course these will trigger, and well, I'm not really at liberty to say what happens, but it isn't pleasant, and I would really, really choose to avoid it if at all possible.
Well then, why would they wear it? We could just kill you here right now, and then look at Dario. That's a joke. That's a good joke, right? That's a good joke.
No.
Very good. Very droll, dear Nolan. Yes. I will warn you, however, if there are certain, well, let me introduce you to Gale. He is an archdruid of the Tangle. He is from the Feywild. And, well, you might be able to do something to me, maybe, you know, if I'm not quick enough on my feet. I did spend some magic down in also, but there are contingencies, of course. I wouldn't really recommend casting any offensive spells. A cantrip or two won't really trigger anything, but there are, you know. So, with that, that's why we are being so laissez-faire about all of this. Also, I must mention, you are not actually in the tower right now. You are in the Tower of Asir. There is a slight, yes.
Yeah. See.
Good. Yes.
I will reach in my pocket and I will start playing. I will start fiddling with the golden leaf of the Feywilds.
I was thinking the same thing.
Just casually while I'm writing.
All right. Now then, you are all assigned your own desks, and before you realize it, the furniture has shifted and changed, and basically like school benches are provided, and there are papers on each one. So your statements, simple as, I'd like all of you to individually write this, no cheating. And these will be, of course, your written statements to be used in a court of law. At this point, of course, only dear Gord and Dario are arrested, but all of you are, of course, still under suspicion in aiding abetting a catastrophic level use of magic, which, of course, is yes.
Do you have a law book? I mean, if I'm being imprisoned, I have to state my memory. Maybe. Do you...
Yes, of course.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yes, well, Gale, if you would, and the elf steps forward, and I'm not going to spend like 5 minutes doing this, but he will state, and Dario, he will state to you the rules of the Tangle. And this is basically like a druidic law that you're being placed under. And yeah, anything that could damage the forest or the world or nature itself is to be seen as an abomination. And of course, the use of the Pact Stone and everything that happened and also is considered that. Anyway, with that, your rights are being read for the two of you. How we are going to do this is really fun for a streamed game, but I would like all of you to, because I don't care about that part. So you are writing your statements. I just want you guys to PM me, and you don't have to write anything out, but you can basically tell on any event that you think is important, and understand that you are going to be, how do I put it, evaluated on your honesty. And of course, the others might write other things. So I just need single lines of events, because we're not going to keep repeating events of the entire campaign. So I would like you guys to write down what you think is important, what might benefit you in this situation that they know, and specifically maybe also tell me what you don't mention at all. Some
How much paper do we get?
as much as you want.
As he was telling that we were all wanted for, you know, aiding and abetting and stuff, I'll kind of look up and go, you did technically aid and abet us just now, though, so wouldn't that, like, technically also make you an accomplice?
You're one
Just-
to end up in jail.
Don't. I mean, I was being fancy. I don't care about the rights.
With that, Oberek, and he hasn't really stopped sweating. There's a little some pearls on his forehead. Yes, well, you would be correct, and well, I won't lie to you. My position is an interesting one in this affair, but I think rescuing you, or at least whisking you away from also from certain death or defeat, can provide, or you could be assets to the Irish Republic if you are so willing, and this could aid you in your further freedom.
We pledged ourselves.
Yeah, but
in
like
blood
that's
to
the thing though.
Dragon
Like
Legion.
if we are not assets, then you've just caused a huge diplomatic incident for, you know, basically a bunch of nobodies. Just a little tidbit here that popped into my head, and then I'll start writing.
And since the king is a devil,
I'm going to focus my. I'm going
Yeah.
to talk to the
how to do this.
female elf. I'm
Yes.
just gonna quite
Seduce her.
desperately say, "Can you please find me something else in this suit? You know what happened in also. I really want out of this suit into something that I can feel the nature again."
Make a persuasion roll, and roll high, motherfucker.
And yeah, I figured.
They dropped you a wall of text.
Great.
I still have to think about it.
I think I might have seen a few wizard robes lying about. Maybe I can drag them through the sewer so it smells like home.
You don't really like the Alien Dark, do you?
It's not about them. It's about you.
It's a you problem.
I just turn away. I don't know what I did to scorn this woman. What?
And Oberek will just lean in. Don't worry, she's like that with everyone.
Somehow that's a relief.
Oh, honestly, I think she completely loves me. Don't you, Andra? See?
Thank you. I was asking the wrong person.
Alright.
Daarvoor weer moet jij nu hebben. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
just
take
bullet
out-
points. Bullet
Oh,
points.
right.
Okay, I wrote it as
Yeah, that's fine.
Dear Dungeon Master, today I will
Mhm.
be telling you this.
Alright. With that, while you guys are talking, or at least writing down, you, I'll say because he's already done, Oberek walks over to you, Boris. Say, and he looks over to your shoulder at what you're writing. Helios, is it? That is interesting.
how come?
Well, it's a bit of an anomaly among the gods right now. There's certain idiosyncrasies about this. You carry with you an ancient religion. I'm sure you're well aware.
Yes.
Well, a word of advice. If all of this does end up as an audience to Tenuous here, tread carefully. My boss, my master's master, has certain interests, and I have heard the mention of your religion once or twice in those halls. I do not know to what end.
Can I inside check how straight he's shooting right now?
Sure.
My passive is 19 and then I roll a
Yeah, I know. I keep that into. So the Oberek's bluster falls away for a moment, and you can see real concern.
Thank you for this advice. I'm willing. Is there anything that remains of Helios in the city?
In this city? Not in the way that you think, but that is not my place to say.
I mean, I have, in my theological studies, found another angle. And seeing as this is a city of mages and knowledge, I would prefer to see what the less religious types think of my angle. But I would rather do it in a safe space.
Well, consider that you are now here on adversarial ground, but you will undoubtedly encounter the angle you are requesting.
How far is Gord away from me, by the way?
30 feet.
So I, in a slightly lower voice, thanks for the warning. I did notice something particular about one of our companions.
How do you mean?
changed? You saw something.
Well, I have encountered your companion in multiple forms now. I've seen a merchant. I have seen this, and I don't know if Obrek actually saw Gord as a dwarf.
Blackland as dwarf.
Yeah, fair, but as the other dwarf.
Because I noticed Riker when he met us in the tower.
True, as Riker as well. So,
I noticed you had this minimal twitch in your eye the moment he transformed. And I was wondering if you care to share with me. Just to be more aware of what's going on.
I would love nothing more, but that is currently not up to me. I cannot divulge any further information. Let's just say that we know there was nothing magical about that.
You mean innate?
Yes.
Does Boris have the knowledge to place it somewhere that he can understand?
I will let you roll. At this point, it's a very difficult one to make, so I'll allow you religion to roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey! Over the 20. Fucking hell.
No.
So, I am correct to assume that whatever the dwarf has been isn't there anymore.
That I cannot say. Still plenty to deal with. But let's see what your friends have delivered now. Okay.
I did telepathically tell Dario to not mention the whole mauling the officials as a bear part.
But he said it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
His rights were not read yet when that was.
So to
which
be
means
fair,
it's an
in
industry.
his defense, Dario is so into all the backstory stuff that the thing that happened in Oratal, for him doesn't even mention it. It's such mediocrity.
You do know that sounds terrible to a jury, right?
No, I'm just saying that in the defense,
Yeah,
he
no.
didn't mention it.
But to be honest, I don't think about it at all.
I don't lose 1 second of sleep.
That is so bad. You are gonna get executed.
Okay.
He didn't do it, but part of me wanted to have Cassius just write lawyer and nothing else.
Fifth Amendment.
My short answer would have been, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Please let me go.
I just want to go home, man. Yeah.
That just
well,
happened
Sadly,
to be
all of
where
these
the
things
thing
you're talking about are all very recent inventions, and we are in a 1500 setting. So
We were gonna kill necromancers.
Oh well,
and
in
now
that
it's
case,
all
I
about
demand a trial by
backstones.
combat. Let the gods decide.
I don't have divine
in a city of mages.
No, don't I get to choose the weapon?
Yeah, man.
Is it a holy symbol or statue?
I think if you demand trial by combat, it's your opponent who can
The
choose.
opponent gets to choose the weapon, yes.
Yeah.
And then I get to choose the time, which is irrelevant.
The time is now. Time stop. Ah, crap.
Like the most boring duel ever. It's like a counterspell, 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 counterspell,
Yeah.
counterspell. I'm out of spell slots. You did.
Yeah, and then the staff.
They can do the whole monologue of like, I bet you're wondering, is he out of spell slots? Because you lost count. Well, guess what? I lost count too. So the question is, are you feeling lucky?
Okay.
What trial by combat would work against the mage?
Okay. Okay. All right, pens down, class, and he will grab up all the paperwork. Oh, Nolan. This doesn't need to be published.
It is so. Yes, footnotes and
Yeah, it's like, oh
quotes of
dear.
reference.
There's like a stack of 15 pages. I only gave you about 30 minutes. I don't understand.
Where'd you get the extra paper from?
Oh no!
I will return those books for you.
Oh, of course you would. Well, we'll see. Anyway, thank you all. Just sit tight. I have to report all of this. And he will leave the room once more to expedite things. You are left here for another hour or two. And all of this time, you are under supervision of the elf Gale and Undra. They're just standing there, sometimes talking to each other, whispering in Druidic. Which, Dario, I guess you could catch a few things if you so wanted.
Yeah, but I'm not interested. I'm in my zone. I just wrote my defense, and Dario is now again aware of the fact that, well, he hasn't reached what he wants to.
Yeah.
He's actually nowhere. So I'll be sitting somewhere, just being to myself, not listening in, not paying attention to anything.
With that, an hour or two has passed. And this time Stephen Moore by himself enters. Obrecht is not to be seen.
Killed him.
He looks around and Undra, you are excused. Gale, with me.
Someone bring a cup of tea?
He ignores you and steps forward to the desk again. So, we have deliberated. And I have had to report this to Tanawis here himself. You are capable to have faced these foes and these issues, so you would be considered assets. It would be a shame to let you all rot away somewhere in a dungeon. So, to be clear, this is no choice of yours. You are currently seen as irregulars of the Elish Republic. This is not an official statement. This is not an official title. This is by word of Tana Asir alone. You will be denied if you were to mention or try to mount some defense in the aid of the Elish Republic or similar. You can be your Greven legionnaires and nothing more. But we need to be kept informed. The transgression in Oratal shall for now be set aside, as indeed no permanent harm has been done. These people have been revived successfully, although to damage of their pride and abilities. Because we do have that power.
I hope some lessons were learned on both sides.
Good addition there.
Oh,
Good save.
Oh boy, you weren't even there.
I know.
Simply put, there are some things that were mentioned, some paths that need to be followed, The Elite Republic is an official entity that is trying to reach further and prevent such things from happening. Sadly, because of events today, the path to Olosso has certainly been dampened. And currently, you might not believe, but we are quite stretched thin. So it would be in our best interest to allow you to continue. Again, you will share all information. And perhaps we can be of some assistance in the future. That is the deal that has already been set in motion. The counteroffer is you never leave this tower.
Fine. I mean, since when did we have a choice in the matter anyway? And like from the start, when we entered into these events, I think our fate had been set already.
Are we included in the deal, by the way, because we're innocent bystanders?
You are anything but innocent.
Oh,
Did you
good
not,
innocent.
Boris, did you not take part in the annihilation of some members of the Olosso mages, the security forces?
There was Blackman
Oh,
last. Right, that's
Well.
A lot, no?
there's a lot to unpack there. There is self-defense.
Yes.
There's
We
also
were attacked
trespassing.
Unprovoked.
No, you were trespassing, and
We were
the
let
king
in by the captain
himself.
of the guards. We were
Right.
let in by the captain of the guard. We were there on legit reasons.
The king is
That
no
is,
more.
well, it also doesn't see it that way.
Yeah, we told them they didn't want to listen. So the only option was to fight, and they died.
The inn with the guard captain is something to be explored, but it is not relevant to the current situation.
Don't think I technically killed any of those guys. Because the Ursa elemental did all the killing. Which I know is saying like the bullet that I shot from my gun is what killed the guy and not me, but like
Regardless, this is not what we are discussing. Simply put, to leave you unsupervised would be inappropriate and reckless, clearly. As if we were to be involved sooner, perhaps this entire thing with Black Lenas would not have happened. So, there are a few matters here. Names being mentioned: Rashanidri Athum, Onara, Gixerin. And at that point, he will motion to Gale, and Gale will step forward and walk to you, Dario. You don't know who I am. But you mentioned Suthari, Rash.
Yes, I did.
You mentioned that you guys walked the Feywild.
Yes. We met Irma Arwin Otan, who escorted back outside.
You don't need to know my full name. But I've walked the prison that you approached. I've seen what Rash has done. And also I was involved in sealing or resealing one of the council. He's bound to the Feywild, and it's the reason I can't go there anymore. That was the cost I had to pay for him to be there forever. I had to be here forever. So, all of this, starting with the Nomadar marshes, the wound torn in this world, I don't like you giving up like that. I don't like your tone. All of these bastards have to be sealed away and rot for eternity. That includes Rash, whatever abomination he's made.
I know, but every step we take, we hit a wall. And sometimes it just feels like I'm suffocating. I mean, who am I? I do my best, but I wasn't even the best in the class. And I'm fighting against people with packstones, relics from ancient times. Yeah.
So you've lost faith in nature, is that it? You've lost faith in your abilities to draw from the very earth that we stand on?
Well, maybe a bit.
You don't matter. You're nothing. It's what you're allowed to wield. Some of us don't have the freedoms anymore that we used to have.
Yeah. Your sacrifice puts things in perspective. I understand.
The Elinadar have sacrificed generations. So let's call that even.
I just want it to stop. I'll do everything I can to stop it.
Good. That's all you need. So now, whether it's Rash or Kirksarin or anything like that, doesn't matter.
We almost had the bastard. Almost.
There you go. You've gotten closer than a lot of people.
I must say, he's getting desperate. He's really, really desperate.
Good. So why are you?
Because humans always prove to be such lying bastards. Not speaking plain. I mean, if they would just speak their mind and say what's going on, it would be so much easier to achieve the goals. But they're always seeking power and personal gain. It's horrendous.
If it weren't for that, none of us would even be here.
Point.
Just know that thing around your wrist is no joke. It's one of mine. You don't be stupid. Don't lose because of their rules. Lose because of mine.
Keep that in mind. But can you please find me an outfit that matches? Please.
Andrea, give him a get-up, will ya? And I don't need that. Don't you look at me like that. The Undra changes into a giant wolf and runs through the doors. She's just been in the city too long.
Have you been, by the way, have you been invited to the Council of the Elves in Greven? There was going to be one. I didn't know your role in the hierarchy of the elves. But there was going to be one. Just so you know.
You're giving me all this lip and you're involved in that as well?
Yet we were invited. We have to speak.
I'm not talking to you, old man.
Well, let's say that the moment we went up north from Greven, in 1 month's time, the council would gather, and I had hoped by that moment to at least come back with the news that Rashvenidor was dead, or we could show the Packstone. Fair, I didn't reach one of those goals, but then it will be for another time.
You still have plenty of time.
And I have an
But again,
answer to
Yeah.
deal.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't really care about any of this. But I consider that thing on your wrist a vow. I'll use it for them if you fuck up for them. But use that as a reminder who you are and what you can wield. That's all I'm asking.
I will. Thanks. I will.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Actually, Obrek is not here. Damn it. Stephen Moore. Just other character. Sorry, I've too many.
He could blunder in and start
Yep.
talking if he really
Yeah,
wants
no,
to.
no.
It's called schizophrenia, but oh,
Yeah, exactly. It's called being a dungeon master, and it does progress to that. Yes.
What is this?
When the NPCs start talking back to you, that's when you know you have a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Stephen Moore will just say, yes, thank you for that interjection. Now, I want to be clear. Although he is my master, there are some things that might be a little eccentric about Thanos here. He will broach a few subjects, but also he will only speak when spoken to. You, with the information given in the situation at hand, how do I put this? Each and every one of you is to be asked to put forward the situation and the solutions at hand, or at least a plan. If you can coordinate, that would be wonderful. There are questions that could be asked. Be sincere, as any lies, any deception will not work. And you can see like he's really nervous about this. A lot of your fates will be decided by that conversation and what you can bring forward. We are not the only ones that have dealt with these names, these events. There are others that you have not encountered.
like whom?
And I will not say, if it is not mentioned.
How can we build a plan if we're not aware of the situation?
Because it might not be relevant to your situation.
Everything is relevant to our situation. All the dots are connected. This is what I've learned in a short time with this group.
Or you have more members being freed?
I will prepare your audience. And I wish you good luck. With that, you're left alone again. You actually are being given some things to drink and to eat as well, as hours have now passed.
We completely left alone.
You are currently completely alone, yes. Everyone has left the room.
Until you light the lantern and then two ghost guys are there again.
No. But maybe not in the... well, why not?
Where exactly are the bracelets on Gord and Dario?
I would say on the wrists.
Left or right?
I have two, both.
No, I mean the special friendship bracelet that Gale got you.
Ah, that bracelet.
You could choose left or right, I guess.
I don't know.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Left.
Hypothetically, are you left or right-handed? And do you need two hands for anything?
No, no. I'm not dealing with shock and shit.
No.
Also, how close is the closest window or door? No.
There
There is
there
no
are no
window.
windows.
I already wanted to look at the city and I was denied.
Wait, so we have to talk with the teacher of Oberyn's teacher, who is
Teacher Dano Asir.
Tano Asir, who is like
That's not the
the
teacher.
guy of a lich, or
No, he started something 25 years ago, more or less, when I had already left. He is actually one of the strongest known archmages to
Okay.
exist on this plane.
so the guy
He
who
has
brought us
been-
here brought in his boss, and now that guy is having us meet his boss.
Yes, and at a
The
certain
boss,
point
boss.
at a certain point in history, he gathered all the mages from Elish and elsewhere, I think, and he organized a coup made of mages and wizards in his
Right.
tower, which we are now in. I
That
believe.
guy.
That
Was
guy,
that
and
here?
he has been 90 years old for decades.
Okay.
You mean eons?
And we have to now
I don't know
explain
how long.
our plan to this guy. Do we have
What
a
is
plan?
our plan at the moment?
We
of-
never
our
had a
was-
plan.
well,
Our
first it
plan
was
is to fall
Kirkserin.
back to the original plan, which is infiltrate the castle, steal the pact seal,
Yes.
get out.
Yes.
The original plan, for as far as I'm concerned, is kill Kirkserin. So
Yes.
Variation.
Yes. That's
Indeed.
indeed.
That's
goal
those are the three
number
steps of the plan, and then
That might
we
be the
have
issue with this
a
group, the
variation
lack
on
of a
step
plan.
2, which is kill Black Lenas and Sathiani and
No, those are details.
Kirkserin
Don't
and
mention
the
those
other
names.
guy.
Don't mention anything about.
We'll kill any of the big bad guys we encounter along the way.
I agree, Boris. We always have a plan. The plan is to kill Kirkserin, but there are so many enemies, and they keep popping up whenever we don't want them to, and then there they are, and we have to focus them. So
Well, indeed. Well, you can
it's
ask your
hard to
questions.
keep a plan sometimes.
Are we going to go to Lhasa, or are we going to
So
Kirkserin?
what is our predicament at the moment? As far as I understand, we need to chase the Pact Stone and report to the Ilish Republic back here.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
predicament
As
we
far as I
suddenly got
understand it,
into.
they do not want that artifact with Black Lenas and are
Yes.
an
I
official
was-
task, because they will deny knowing anything about us should we get caught, is to make
I
sure
would-
Black Lenas does not have the Pact Stone, either by removing the Pact Stone or removing Black Lenas, and ideally removing both.
Yes,
but
and plus when we get the Pact Stone, when we manage to do that, Kirkserin wants it, so we'll draw his attention.
Mhm.
Yes,
anyway.
this is one problem at a time.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
I mean, in doing that, we get closer to reaching the other.
Do we
Kirkserin.
want,
Yes.
as far as I understand, Pact Stone? The critical question that comes to my mind is: do we want a Pact Stone in the center of a town
I
filled with
was
mages?
I was going to ask the exact same question.
I
Black
don't want.
Linus.
I don't want the
In
Pact Stone.
a self-proclaimed republic, dictatorship.
When was
No.
the last election?
I don't know.
The elections?
Doesn't
What
seem
were the
like-
elections?
Make a history roll for me.
With all the posters back in the day.
It's a lot of fake news on the media.
There are elections in Elish,
I will-
just not for the inner circle of Thanos here.
And those are the ones that hold control.
And Nolan, you know that officially the Thanosir and his pupils are still given an advisory role. There are, of course, mandates, and there are mayors and all manner of things that continue around, but Thanosir is, well, it is simply the Ilish Republic. It is not the Republic of Thanosir, but he is the main advisor to whoever presides as regent.
Okay.
So basically, it's an autocracy
Yeah,
with some puppets.
meritocracy.
Yeah. Sure. Don't quit your day job, honey.
I've asked this before, I think, of Dario, but like,
So basically, we're fucked and we need to go after the Pact Stone.
if you have the Pact Stone, do you know how to retrieve the souls of your ancestors or set them free, or is that we need to study it for decades to figure out a way?
That
or...
part of plan was give it to the council of druids, mages, and let them handle it.
So
Okay, but there's no instant neutralize the Pact Stone quickly once we have
This
it.
thing is from ancient times.
No,
1 month
okay.
ago, I didn't even know. I had no
Yeah,
knowledge
okay.
of what the thing
so
is.
the end
No.
goal was actually to give
And that is a
one of
different council of mages and druids, sorry, than the one that runs the Irish Republic, correct?
Yeah. No, so when we were in Greven, or I talked to some sort of archmage from from a druids. I don't know. And I mentioned the same names that we mentioned now. They were in a panic. I sent a letter to the archmage of the
Yes.
Elinadar, and well, things escalated. They saw the severity of the situation, and they were coming together 1 month's time in Greven to discuss what's going on. So they
Have
are
you-
aware of the situation as well.
Have you ever considered, you guys, just stupid question, just putting it out there, not telling anybody about the shit you have going on, because it only gets you in trouble.
Yes, but the fact is, we are always in quite a pickle, and we end up having to say what is going on.
Are you in the pickle because you started telling what's going on?
No, not really.
You
Things
tried lying
happen.
and you tried lying at start, but
And it did
didn't
not work.
out.
I mean, look at
We-
Oloso. We tried mischief and deceit. It didn't. It got us the same result.
Got us
It
far
must
in.
have
We have
been
a card captain that trusts us.
Boris, it must
That's
have been clear by now that I am really bad at lying.
Yes.
there's lying and not telling everything, but bon.
I didn't say everything.
Anywho,
You know.
so we go back to Alasso as the mages to Pew Pew was into the
Yes,
castle. We
and to
rush
give
for the
us some
basement.
juice.
Maybe with a disguise,
Matrix scene.
some sort of plan.
Can the mage teleport us to 10,000 feet above the city castle? And do we have feather falling also?
You
You
want
want
to
to drop a
Halo in?
bomb?
Maybe
Yes.
just teleport us inside the vault, and that's a better option.
How on earth are we gonna survive that?
Well, the
I
Earth
have
would be
feather
involved,
fall,
yeah.
and you guys
I mean, I
just
turn into
feather
an
fall,
eagle
and
and
then
I fly
one
away,
mage sees
boys.
us and casts counter spell on the feather fall. And
I can
that's
turn
it.
into a giant eagle and
I mean,
The
high
side.
altitude, low orbit. It's high, motherfucker.
Low opening, not orbit,
Low opening.
because you halo and you jump. Low orbit is when you bring in satellites in a low orbit, which I
What-
don't
what
think
are-
we have here.
What are satellites? What is these things you're talking about? It's
The
arcane.
moon.
For
It's
the
called a
arcane dawn.
satellite. A natural satellite. My friend.
It's a thing we did once where we had to infiltrate into a mansion, but there were guards in a large area around the mansion, so we got a mage to teleport us very high up a cliff, and then we jumped from the cliff, and then we used some cloaks and some minor magic to glide over all the guard posts and then drop in.
That was dangerous.
I think if we
Yes,
do
if
this
it,
with
if
this
it were
group,
easy,
we're-
then everybody would do it now.
I don't think this group would be a good idea to do it with.
No,
Oh,
yes.
It would fuck it up before we start.
Yes, I don't have Featherfall.
No, you have Featherfall, right? Oh, yeah, sure, of course. Oh, you mean now? Oh, I didn't prepare. I didn't. Nobody told me.
Yes, fuck.
Don't tell me. That's
No.
So, okay, back to planning, because
yes.
We have to get back to
they want the
and
Pact
then
Stone.
figure out some kind of plan to separate Black Lenas from the Pact Zone, and then either eliminate Black Lenas and or steal the Pact Zone.
We are forgetting Satyane.
no. Well, we'll deal with him later.
Yes, but they are together.
They are
Yes.
connected in a way. Yes,
Yes,
but if
yes, they are, but-
ideally Ideally, we cause a distraction so big that, because if I recall correctly, we did know, or yeah, we did know that Black Lenas left the Pact Stone behind when he came up to meet. Um, not us, because he didn't know we were there, but like he did not have the Pact Stone on him then, right? He only had the small shard,
Mm-hmm.
if I recall
only-
correctly.
Yes.
So if we
only
could
we had-
replicate that kind of situation that forces him to be
Well,
above ground and his backstone down below, then we could potentially try and infiltrate down below
Yes.
and get his backstone.
and
If only we had somebody who knew an organization up and down the city, which is infiltrated everywhere, and connections to a guard captain who only wants peace and no war with the Elish Republic.
Yes. My thought is
Who are you
well
talking about?
is what we really want to
Yes.
is what we really want to is that backstone, right?
Mhm.
So how about we go into Olosso, we steal the thing, and we go back.
no,
That's
no,
what I'm
no.
saying.
Never mind the other.
But in order
I-
to do that, we need to get Black Lenas away from the Pact Zone.
Yes, but I'm saying is nor Black Lannis nor Satyana are our primary goal. Because without the stone, they are harmless.
Yes,
Well,
I
but
wouldn't
they
say
will be
harmless,
at the
but
not
stone,
harmless,
so
but
you
the stone is the important thing.
yes.
you won't have stone without Black Lannis. They will be at the same.
No, that's what I'm
location.
saying. Last time we met him, he had left the
Yes.
stone behind. So if
Well,
we could somehow
had to
create a similar situation where he leaves the stone behind, that would probably simplify our.
The problem is
Yes.
that
Endeavor.
he has a small fraction as well, right?
I
Then
would.
he can just demand that thing to grow, and
Mm-hmm.
it grows.
Well,
Yeah, that's why we create a distraction, and by the time he figures out, hey, this is a
Yeah.
distraction, we've already
so
stolen and vanished off.
I
with
think
the-
part one of the
the
plan
backstone.
is to get these sorry mages in this tower, to have them make contact with Olosso, and really convince. I
And-
don't know who, the conclave of assassin mages and the captain and stuff, that their king is a phony.
But Oratal doesn't really have any pool in Olosso. That's what they told him. Can't you
Mhm.
just can you, Nolan, message the captain of the guard? I mean, if anyone in Olosso showed us some leeway, it was him.
Yes, and if then I could try, and if they then
I think
make their own internal project meetings.
no. Just keep it toward
Project
to
Manhattan.
him, and he needs to contact anyone who he can
And
trust.
they need to make a plan to have Black Lenas come out and to or the king come out to discuss
Yes, but who are
the accusations, and he will be there without the packstone. Otherwise, there are no need to defend himself.
Didn't Gort detect Black Lenas down in the basement when he was speaking upstairs next to the king?
Yes, but he
Yes.
did in fact really show
Yes.
up later on when we had our little scuffle with him.
Let's again try to get the captain of the guard and the
Yes.
guild working together to create a distraction.
Yes.
Move in, try
I
to get
agree.
the stone, and get the fuck out.
I would have them make contact with the king to try and explain the situation or the accusations, and then he will have to come out without a packstone. Otherwise, he just tells everyone, "Hey, I'm phony," and then maybe we can go in.
I don't know. Isn't that too
Just get him out of the
visible?
castle and
Yeah.
rush for the crystal. Why would you
That too.
That
convolute
is
it?
the plan, but we
Yes.
need to
But you need to have a
find a way to
argument.
set up a distraction that is
So next step,
convincing
contact
and real enough that Black Lenas actually goes instead of just sending a duplicate or a shade or a projection of himself or whatever.
True.
And we need to find a way to infiltrate the most heavily guarded secret basement of the castle.
Yeah, we have the book.
So next step is contact captain of the guard, contact thieves guild, try
Yes.
to get them working together, create distraction, poof in, poof out.
No. We tell the
I
captain of the
agree.
guard, meet me at that place at that hour, and then you tell the Thieves Guild leader the same thing, and we don't tell them about each other, and then
And we don't go.
Yeah.
and then
Hey,
whoever wins is
hey,
gonna be the one that
hey.
We need both of them.
We need
Yeah.
to convince
Just
the
need to
captain of the
contact them
guard. Yeah,
to set it up.
contact him. Tell him his king is fake because he had a feeling.
He believed us.
He believed
Okay, do
us.
we have proof?
And
No, that's why
No.
the king is to come out.
But that's
No, but we need to convince the captain of the guard that
We need
are
to
not.
contact him. We don't need to know if we need to convince him.
We do
but
not
don't
have
know
proof.
if it.
yes.
Does Boris remember, or did Boris do an insight check on the captain while we were explaining and how he reacted?
At that point, we didn't yet know that the king was Satyani, though.
Yeah.
No.
So
suspect.
But he knew something was up with Black Lenas.
Yes.
yeah, he wasn't.
And he knew
he
we were
didn't
not
trust
lying
him.
about that.
He
So
didn't
in that
trust
case,
him.
We believed it.
I told him that there could be a very large possibility the king was already dead.
Dead or replaced, whatever.
Yes.
Potato, potato.
So that's
Alright.
the first thing.
So you have 25 words to convince him that his king has been replaced by an ancient demon and that he needs to help us.
Let's first discuss with the mages if we can get into Alasso. Can they
Yes.
bamf us in? Can they bamf us out?
All right.
I do
Sounds
have
like-
a question. Would it be a good idea to cast a spell in here?
No.
Oh, which spell are you suggesting?
Well, I have the possibility to gather a lot of information, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea to do it here
I
at this
think
point.
we
right now.
we're now at the point that they somehow, well, they don't trust us, but they accept our existence. So I would not, I don't know, thwart
They
them.
accept our assistance. They forced you to give assistance.
No, our
Pointing at the
existence.
bracelet.
Yes. So I would not foil that, or we will never leave this city again.
Free will is
Hmm.
long gone in
And
this
I
case.
don't know how you survived so long in the English Republic.
This tower this wasn't here then. I left.
Mm,
I haven't been here for 25 years.
well, you want to go back already?
Well, to the real Elish.
Yes. Okay, I think we have some sort of rudimentary plan, I'd say. We don't seem to make more detailed plans than this ever.
I walk around the room and touch the wall in different places to see if there's anything hidden or a trapdoor or something.
I would ask them
Okay. Make an investigation roll, Boris.
to give me the teleportation. I mean, instead of having mages teleport us to Alasso, maybe they can give me the location of a teleportation circle, which then
Ooh,
I
yeah.
also learn.
Yes, good idea. And well, if we don't have anything more to discuss, I'm just to be where this tower first when I entered really, or I thought it horrendous, but now the knowledge that one of the councils was held here and that person I just spoke has sacrificed so much, it really puts things in perspective. So I'm gonna be in a better mood of sheer awesomeness.
Alright. So I'll wait until Martin's back.
Yeah, it's gonna take.
But yeah, that's because this is going to be at the end of the session a very intense conversation.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go to sleep first?
No,
Damn you.
not even in real life, nor in the game.
Was I onto something with the accent, by the way?
Who knows?
Ah, damn it. I needs to know.
Boris don't know. No,
No,
Boris don't know.
Boris don't know. Black Lenas do know. But again, somebody say we didn't trust you.
Yeah. I'll say you as a player can know you're maybe on the right track, but it isn't the same person.
No, related, I think. Oh well. I didn't want to ruin it for my fellow.
Yeah. For the investigation roll, by the way, yeah, you notice that there's a lot of arcane carving in the side of these walls, and as you touch them, some of them briefly light up. and you can see a similar glyph to the one that you saw on the sewer grate that exploded and hit the golem. And there's some of these inch by inch on every spot in this room.
So basically, the place is ready to blow up in our face.
Yeah.
One of those.
With that,
So glad I found that.
yep. Was a nice little holding cell, I guess. But with that, Stephen Moore returns. Right then. An audience with Tano Asir. Understand, very few have ever had the opportunity. Even us, his students, well, we relish the thought, or at least savor the moments where we can speak with our master. So I'll ask you all to gather, please. And he will take out a tuning fork. Please. And all of you, and for this, I'm sorry, but you are all going to have to, you don't have to hold hands, simply make contact with each other, please. Right then. A quick jolt, and ding, he hits the tuning fork, making a specific note as he speaks arcane words, and you are ripped from this reality. This is far more than a simple teleport. The jostling here, it is like you are ripped from reality itself, and in that very instant, as your soul sort of catches up to your corporal being, you are placed in a grand hall. This is a library, Nolan, but one built like a cathedral and descending into infinite space. There is wooden beams, there are strange structures, there are metal parts as well that are curving around like cast iron in beautiful filigree. This, without a doubt, is the grandest place of learning you've ever seen. There are mosaics, large depictions of history that are floating in midair, that are arranging themselves randomly, or at least at a thought are displacing themselves. There are a few people here. You can see, actually, a few students of Tano Asir that are also moving past. And at a distance of over half a mile, there stands a singular desk. A red carpet rolled all the way from where you stand on this intricate teleportation circle. Or at least, no, a planar anchor. Nolan, you realize quickly that this is a demiplane of his own creation.
Impressive.
As you walk on the red carpet that is laid before you, there are no sounds to your footsteps. Indeed, there is an eerie silence to this entire place. You see things moving, people walking, people talking, but the sound does not reach you.
I guess they wanted to avoid the lady that always goes, "Shh."
Yes. There, Stephen Moore just whispers quickly to you and says, "This is where I leave you. Good luck, for all of our sakes." and he turns back and moves away somewhere. This singular desk at the center of this majestic library, there sits a man. And you can see him as he has intricate robes that seems to have moving stars all around it. You see a long red turtleneck that covers his neck entirely, almost cupping his face. As you come closer, he has immaculate makeup to clean his face, or at least to belie his age. Indeed, in this very moment, he looks younger than you, Nolan. He has a bald head, and currently wearing also white satin gloves as he is perusing a tome, Nolan, that you have never seen. It is, in fact, gigantic, but it is moving at the passing of his finger. As you approach, and the trip takes at least 5 minutes once you eventually do come to his desk, there are chairs set upon, well, chairs set for each of you. And there he sits, Danoasir.
Do we know it's him?
I would say that you are quite aware of what he looks like, and or at least have been told. And the assumption is indeed that this is Danoasir. And he is simply flicking through the book and reading at a terrifying pace. You see him look over a page and again and flip another page. He just continues to sit there, ignoring you.
I'm just watching the ceiling and try to see where it ends.
It doesn't. It goes as far as your vision can carry it.
I'll try and glance from afar if I can read some words from the book.
Alright, make a perception check.
I don't like perception.
It, yeah, no, you have no idea what language. How long will you allow time to pass as you sit here?
I don't know. I'd say awkward, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Because the guy
We've
said
been-
he will not speak unless spoken to, but
Oh, I understood. Don't speak unless spoken to.
that could also be a thing.
No,
So
it was.
I
You
will-
were right. You are invited to speak to him.
Okay, well.
So we could have been sitting here for a long time.
Okay.
Well, that was the next 5 sessions then? No.
Yeah.
Just the DM going every 5 minutes of like, okay,
Just-
5 minutes has passed. Do you
Yeah.
speak to him? No, okay.
There is a certain air about him. There is a certain station, a certain authority.
I mean, he just keeps reading his tome, right? There's no moment where he like takes a pause where we might be able to like.
I will say after 5 minutes, he will briefly look at all of you. Just a quick glance and then back to the book.
Is it an interesting book? Well, I haven't read it. It's quite thick. Do you borrow it to Others?
We have been invited.
Nolan is
to
vaporized.
an archmaze, and this
He-
is what
The book closes, and he motions it away from him, and the book slides and falls into your lap, Nolan.
Ooh.
And it is a giant tome. Do you read Celestial?
No.
Well, it is written in Celestial.
I'll have to come back for this.
He snaps his fingers and the book disappears from your grasp. And then he looks at you again. Folds his hands.
Well, I think we're here. Did you know? You may have some notion what brought us here. The simple thing is, we need help in dealing with the ancient.
We were listening to every word you spoke in that room. We already know what you discussed.
Oh. Well, then my question is there anything you can do to help, or do you have some insight in? Well, you know the person, you know them better than we do. What's something that can give us an advantage?
Is there anything we can do? Of course, there is something we can do. It is which tools we give to whom and who we can expect you to be.
I look at the others.
Well, yeah, if you can give us a teleportation circle that can get us into Orlando, some healing potions, and maybe some magical artifacts to assist us, I think we can go in like 10 minutes.
We'll be done before dinner. Right?
I mean, he knows the plan, so
Yes.
Boris, was it?
Aye.
Tell me, your pursuit of Kirksarin. It is purely built from faith.
His powers of the dark. My god only sheds light.
And why would you assume such a thing?
How did we end up? Oof, where's the backstory?
It's like asking a religious man, why do you believe?
You believe in God.
What?
Also, such a thing is like.
like,
I wrote something here about Kirksarin. I was faced with his evil as I landed here on the shores of Felix Lustrum, from the continent where I hail from. There can only be described as evil.
Hmm.
These people are not allowed their final rest and are used to just do his bidding.
And this evil is, of course, described by the tenets of what you follow as faith, which is the faith of Helios, is it not?
Yes, but there's also some common sense in leaving the dead to rest. Can't we conclude that?
There are those in the past of this world that would disagree with you.
There's a veil to get to the dead for a reason. Why would we cross that if we only have pure intentions? There's no need to meddle with the dead, as that life already gives us this much.
Yes, and yet your faith, your divine filtered arcana, it provides such services as to bring those back. And even, if I am not mistaken, Helios provides the creation of beings of sentience as well. Why is that?
I am unaware of this.
A pity. You see, Helios has been an interesting conundrum. Of course, all of us are aware of the true gods arriving on this world. Tell me, are you aware that Helios was already here?
I know his ancient.
Yes, but beyond ancient. The gods are ancient. They are everywhere. They come from different realms. They exist beyond time and space. The moment of inception of a god, they have always existed. But Helios was a little different. Was present in this realm. You are aware of the other world of Severinus. And yes?
It's a name I've come across via my compatriots.
Hmm. And you are aware, of course, as well of Kirkserin's devices, or at least his goal?
I am unaware of that.
Hmm. See, his goal is not dissimilar to what so many mages have tried in times past, which many mages, a few among them, being Kadanax or Barthol or Tennis, have reached. I stand before you as one who is ailing, one is aged, and yet so many of us now, and he looks at you, Nolan, for a moment. Kirkserin has reached what we've so long desired, which is to set ourselves aside from death. Yes, he wields the undead, but that is not what he is. He is beyond death. He is not capable of perishing.
Rumors say he made a pact with Orcus himself, so
Indeed.
there is many ways to go about it.
There are also others that say that Orcus no longer posed a threat to him. You are speaking of the Council of Severinus. You are speaking of Rashanidre and you of others. These are mortal men once. Perhaps still. Yet they have moved beyond our abilities. And the very thing you chase, the very thing you would wish to retrieve from Olosso, it is part of what shaped them. This is why they are beyond redemption. They are beyond what the gods would see as forgiveness. And yet still we must give credence to the fact that they achieved their goals, how vile they might have been to all of us, I'm sure. And here we have a druid of the Elinada, wounded and set upon a task, a quest set in motion by those. And here we have a mage, a village, I do see you as such, Nolan, as far as you might have fallen. I'm sure you'd have some choice words with some of the people I consider under my employ. You and I both don't really have the best relationship with the gods. Yet you walk with a man of Helios. The one that was here before, even before the Council of Severnus. Something to be petitioned, something to question, ask.
You are well read. Finally, someone that knows something. I've been accompanied, not this party, but anywhere, wherever we go, no one has any additional information. It's always me that knows the most. It's quite frustrating.
I understand more than you might imagine. The problem is, Nolan, that I do have knowledge, but there are things that have been written long ago in languages that many have lost. I don't have facts. I mostly have fairy tales. I am very afraid of what the truth is. So tell me, with your mind that knows so much, and he looks to Boris again, I would like to know the truth. Why was Helios the first one here? Even before Tormodon walked his earth to extinguish the chromatic dragons, before he himself ascended.
Well, I can only conclude without proof that before the arcane dawn, mankind, there is a notion of a Project Helios, which Tennis and Bartal were working on, the so-called Project Helios. They were drawing in arcane powers from some kind of crazy man, old dude, making the whole room writing full of rooms. Maybe that was Helios himself. Who knows? Maybe Helios is a source of all arcana on this realm. Then warped by mankind. Stuff happened.
If I
That's
can
one possibility.
just interject an even more vital question. You have just given us a lot of names. People who have used this power of the Pact Stone to transcend life itself, even death. Yet, for as far as I understand, you send us on a path to collect one of said stones for you. How much are you different from the names you've dropped upon us?
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question.
Then how far do you know how to release the souls, which is ultimately the goal of some of my compatriots, to return their souls to the place where they belong. Effectively removing all the venom from the stone, if I'm not mistaken.
It is true.
I will insight check as well.
Okay.
I'm looking for the whole conversation. I am because he spoke about Kixarian achieving something they can't, and I know he has been 90 years old for a lot of years. So I want to insight check him if he is admiring these things and he is aspiring to have this goal as well.
All right.
And I'm gauging the intention with my question.
All right, and you can roll insight as well. Nolan, you do catch admiration but it is a neutral one, it is an academic one. Here sits before you probably one of the most academic and calculating minds on this realm right now. And of course, he has admiration for the achievement, but purely in a scientific sense. That they have achieved such a thing. Boris, you as well see this. You see trepidation, you see a need to know, an interest, a fancy that he's allowing to spread around the conversation. And to that point, he will say, "Oh, yes. There are so many paths. And this one, well, it is the most obvious shortcut, is it not? But you have met Gale, have you not? The Druids of the Tangle. In my advancing years, I have had many propositions. Devils have visited me with beautiful wishes. The path to Lichdom has been exposed to me, and so many others. But I am not yet a fool. I am not yet desperate.
You've passed on many paths to ultimate power just for this opportunity to arise.
Because I do not like to tread a path already tread. I am who I am because I forged my own way. And yes, you may know that I am terrified of death. And I will not have it conquer me. But I feel if I have to return to nature for it, to waylay my arcane knowledge and the forcing of Arcana itself by my mind through myself, and change the way this pathway leads, then I am still willing to learn.
Take all value out of life, because the thing that gives life value is death.
I indulged in your question. We are not here for philosophy. It is simple. You are here as an extension of my will. I wish for this shortcut, this barbarian element, this unsubtlety to be taken care of. No, I do not know how to deal with the Packstone, or how to extinguish it. Only records show it's always been sealed, always been taken away somewhere, only to resurface later. That service I can provide. And if you find a solution, then by all means, there are many minds here who will be very willing to assist you.
Therein lies danger as well.
Of course, but with those kind of platitudes, empires fall.
Or are destroyed by men with too much power.
A priest you are, indeed. But you wield something far, far stronger than you imagine. If, of course, I am correct.
The the word of divine does guide you to a better life after that.
Would those who use the Packstone know how one could destroy it? If the knowledge is not in your, if you don't have the knowledge, or no one else here, maybe.
Using the Pact Stone to learn how to destroy the Pact Stone is sort of giving up, isn't it?
It is.
It's a puzzle. Relish in it. And you then, thief. You have been awfully quiet.
Reading
Can we
books.
say I've been stealing the whole time now?
I was returning these.
This is your home, is it not? That is on the verge of destruction. To see all the souls of those you have wronged and those of you who have helped all been sucked into oblivion if you were to fail.
Yes, I've gotten that impression already.
Well, it's not my choice. I do think calling it my home is correct, unfortunately. But yes, my home or not, the fact remains that it is currently where the artifact resides, as well as the person who's trying to accomplish building another artifact or device, and who's claimed he won't use the Pact Stone unless it is necessary, which is a very dangerous way of thinking.
And what is your opinion on all these names spoken?
As you probably know or understand by now, most of them are foreign to me, or were very foreign to me up until quite recently. I set out on this journey to right my wrongs, and all of these names are involved with either serious wrongs in the past or future wrongs of, if I'm being honest, quite large proportions, to the point where they might consider or concern the fate of the world or large parts of it.
Well, yes, that is one of the conundrums that involve us so. You must understand, we did not take power because we... because we desire power to animate the corpse of a dead empire. There are certain things that have come to light recently, ironically also surrounding Greven and Oratal. Certain old names, of course, but also we are set upon a course. Magic must be regulated, as much as we use it here. The use of it leads to certain ears being pricked and certain senses being triggered by creatures that are best left dormant. I will tell you this. As to your goal, your immediate goal is to indeed remove the Pact Stone from the equation. You will find safe harbor here, and we will contain it with the best of our abilities. If one of mine were to use this Pact Stone, or to even attempt such a thing, there will be no trial. There will be only oblivion. It is an error in this reality that it can even exist. Souls are off limits, even if some gods were to disagree.
Your speakers.
It is vital to not touch the stone.
You old fool. As from the path taken by your enemies, you have mentioned an arcane gate. These are things that we have been aware of, that they exist in this world's past. But we are also aware that these gates, functional or not, have long since been compromised. And those in history who have attempted have always met a singular foe.
Mean swan.
What happened in Holon?
What happened in Holon? We don't know. We are currently investigating. We even have a few teams that are circling the area. Sadly, we have lost contact with several of them.
Oh, that doesn't bode well.
Is he talking about the island?
No, I wasn't, but what is the island? I really do wish to know.
Why can't you guys keep your mouth shut?
Don't worry, I was going to ask. You've mentioned it before.
Was out of
Well.
character, by the way.
There's no other character right now.
You're not really. Yeah, you're asking to someone who doesn't really know anything about everything about it. But there
Where
was
was
an
it?
island. Well, that lake, you know, the lake at Felix Lustrum.
Quamadan.
Cromardown.
There are no islands in Lake Quamadan.
No more.
That's a fun thing. It's an island that just appears and then disappears. You won't
Wonderful.
find it on a map. But I'm just saying there was some sort of facility, so I thought you were speaking
No, we
about
were not talking about the island. Unfortunately.
Okay.
And why is this so interesting?
Because it was a facility of not of this time,
Of the time when Tinnis
and it was full of
actively researching his projects,
Ah,
and when they were abandoning said projects because it was too dangerous. It wasn't really physical, there was a lot of holograms and so I have no idea what they were.
I see.
It was I think an island made by geomancy, so the fact that it only appeared after Rashanidre had escaped,
oh,
puts one and two together now.
I never thought about it that way.
Really?
Cassius keeps learning stuff when conversations like this happen. By the way.
Like major stuff.
So, you're aware then of such things. I see.
Oh yes, I know quite a lot.
Well, then I will tell you this. Our working theory is that I do not know the motivations of your companion or what he is trying to achieve with this gate. were he to activate it without some precautions that I am not aware of, all I know is that anyone who's attempted to activate these ancient things, and there are very, very few of them, and all of them have led to doom. For the closest creature between worlds is the first to awaken. And this is really sad that Robin isn't here right now. Because this is where this is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It is an entity who wishes to return home.
Yes, we know it.
I believe Kuxerin wants to facilitate that. And so he can reclaim Severnus, as has been the Council's goal ever since they were founded.
Oh, okay. So it leaves Severnus, it goes to this realm, it screws up this realm, but he doesn't care because he'll be on Severnus.
Yes.
Oh. Oh. Here I thought he was gathering sunstones to release Helios from his prison and gather godhood. Oh.
Perhaps he wishes to become a god on Severnus.
But why is an empty dead plane?
Well,
They
Well,
tried.
because power of creation.
They tried to create something, and something
yeah, he
prevented it.
it.
So, why would he succeed now, where people failed thousands of years ago?
That I do not know. But he is ineffable, and was the last of the Council. Well, he was the one of the Council to never be caught. He has had eons. That is an advantage he has over us.
Mm-hmm.
You say a sunstone?
Yes. At this point, we probably know everything, so.
Yes, well, that is indeed a beacon by which to address Helios. Wonderful.
Which has been stolen.
Well,
Comatil, I guess.
And there are many more, we don't know where. But apparently there are more. To guard the... what was it? To guard the underdog?
that is one of the applications that it was historically used for, yes, but this was not the first purpose. Mr. Boris, you should probably understand that those artifacts are part of a bigger whole, and they allowed the petitioning of your god directly.
Without belief,
Hmm,
as they chained into this world.
exactly. So that's wonderful.
Where have you learned all this? These are things not written or rarely written on paper and lost to common knowledge, lost to history. And still here you are with quite a lot of knowledge.
I will tell you this, Nolan. Knowledge, in essence, is sometimes not a virtue. I have learned things about this world from those who lived it. The history you speak of. But I am under certain obligations and reasons why I cannot tell you this. Not simply because I like to hoard knowledge, but because it will only hamper your progress. There are simply things that are irrelevant. Battles lost, empires fallen, populations extinguished. Irrelevant now.
Yes. Have you ever read this book? And I'll take out Tome of Severnus, the first one, not the second one.
Okay. It's caught in midair, floats to him. It has been some time. There are a few of these in existence. But
You want to wait for the big book?
you wish to learn?
Of course.
And he'll produce the large tome again. And he'll take the Tome of Severnus. So little said about him, is there?
Erebus.
Him as well.
I met him.
And this is the first time you see him actually smile. And you see, like, these blackened teeth. If only, Nolan, you could have been my student. That would have been interesting. Perhaps in a different life, a different timeline.
Yes. We are very much alike in some ways, although you are quite far ahead of me.
Only a few more eons.
And Nolan will be dead in a year or two.
I will be dead in 10 years' time, yes. I know.
But you'll make the best of it.
I started my travels in Graven thinking I've read all books. There's probably not much more to learn. But how much I've learned that's not written in books. That's the pity. I realized far too late.
Well, here you have your last chance. All of this will be irrelevant if you fail. I wish you the best of luck, and we will arrange what help we can. Our enemy is aware of us. That will make things quite interesting.
Thank you.
Are you willing to lose a city over this?
Depends. Do you mean I'll also?
We all will love.
sure.
I do.
I look at Cassius. You know people there. And what do you mean with the city? I mean the people, everyone in their existence.
We are dealing with those that would destroy souls for power.
Yeah.
Be prepared for that eventuality and let it not destroy you. For if you survive, well,
Let it be a worst case scenario.
always nice to have contingencies for that.
Alright. I must say it has been a pleasure speaking with someone who has lived through these events and is the only one not trying to kill us. All the others of your time have proven
Adversary.
other adversary. Yes. Thanks.
Compared to those you speak, compared to those you speak of, I am but a newborn babe. And with that, I am going to end the session because I want to start the next session with a certain someone who is currently absent, because I do have a few choice words to say about that as well.
All right.
How dare you?
So there you go.
Seems fair.
I'm going to end the session there. I'm going to stop the stream there because it was a talky session, but I think it was necessary to put things into perspective.
I love
Very
it.
fun.
I
It's
love
not
it.
a dying session, so there's that.
It could have been. It could have been a
Nee, maar
reroll
het is
session.
zo, het is zo terug een draad oppikken die we
Ja.
zo is kwijt waren.
Al lang kwijt waren, ja.
Van,
Yep,
ja,
yep, yep.
oké, brrr.
Wat zou jij
Ah,
gaan doen?
somebody actually knows something.
Je weet dat je dat
Cool.
moet zijn.
Ik ben nog altijd niet 100% mee.
Ik was helemaal niet
bij-
op voorbereid, ik heb mijn nooit moeten lezen.
bij wie dat er nu in Gord zit en wie dat er nu in de koning zit en wie dat er dan
Oh, it'll be interesting.
nog een